All right, looks like we're coming in live. We're coming in hot. Just testing out the sound, checking everything is copacetic. Let's see, happy face, happy face. All right, got all the settings going. Background good. Hair up, everything's good. All right. All right. Welcome to another great episode of Breaking Bread with Corey, also known as Breaking Bread with Lavelle Voyage. If you don't know what Lavelle Voyage means, it means the traveling bicycle that you see right behind me. Cyclist, triathlete, that's what I've done, and now I'm into wine. That's part of my dealio. Hope everybody's well on this Friday. We have began a great week kicking off International Women's Day. If you don't know, boy, not good. But we just kicked off International Women's Week, and we started off with a great guest, Marsha Jones from Urban Connoisseurs. What a great Monday. That was on Monday. And then yesterday we had Elise Carpenter, some whiny chick, consultant, wine educator. That was a fun, just blew me away. Had a great interview with her. Such a good time. And then we ended the night with the one and only Theopatra, Queen of the Vineyards, Theodora Jones, or Theodora Lee, pardon me, from Theopolis Vineyards. A lot of times my mouth goes faster than my brain. That's due to my dad brain. But anyway, I hope everybody's well. We got a great show for you, a great guest for you. But before we get started, I have a great pairing because we are talking fitness and wine today. I got a great pairing. One of, like I was telling you yesterday, one of the things that I do is I do quick and simple recipes in under 5 minutes. This is one of my favorites. You can see it's on my Star Wars cutting board of the Death Star. This is just a chocolate rice cake, Nutella, and some fresh strawberries. And that's simple. And you say, really? Wine goes good with the rice cake? Absolutely. Dang right. And I'm pairing it. I actually opened this up yesterday, and I'm savoring it. This is Bailiana from Paso Robles in California. This is actually a vintage port, 2010, and it has a blend of 4 grapes: Cab Franc, Petit Syrah, Syrah, and Cabernet Sauvignon. You're talking about the bad boys of the grape world. You know, they're just mean. I love it. I love it. And here's my glass. Celebrating women. I got a little Leia glass there doing the Death Star thing. But without further ado, we have a great guest joining us today. I call her the fitness guru. She is, when I got in connection with her and I saw what she was doing, it was pretty amazing. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring her on and let her introduce herself. See that she's on. Go. Hello. Hey!
Hello, how's it
How you
going?
doing, Nicole? How you doing?
Great. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. How was it? How was your day so far?
Can't complain. Work wasn't too crazy today, which was nice because the week has been pretty busy. So,
Right?
yeah, we made it to the end of the week. I'm so stoked.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're ending this week for us at Breaking Bread. What a great way to do it. I got out for a family health walk. We usually do a daily health walk. I injured my back, so I can't cycle or run right now, but I've been pretty much doing 2 to 3 mile walks, and it's been fun. It's been fun. It's a good way to keep healthy, get outside, get the kiddo outside, just, do something together as a family. So, but without further ado, let's introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to the world.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Nicole, and I created my account called Fit Wino. I have a fitness and nutrition business as my day job, and I'm super passionate about wine. I've always loved wine. I went to college at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, which, for those of you who aren't familiar with where that is, it's along the central coast of California and is about 20 minutes south of Paso Robles. So I actually love that you chose a Paso wine today to sip on. I should have done the same. Um, but yeah, I really sparked my interest in wine towards the tail end of my college career, and it just kind of flourished from there. And I was constantly driving from Orange County up to Paso all the time with friends and just getting to know the area. And finally, actually, I just celebrated my 3-year anniversary of having this account, and
Awesome.
I'm so excited that I started this because it's been an awesome outlet for me to share my love with wine. And I've met amazing people, both in person and virtually, such as yourself. Um, and it's sparked my interest to study wine more. So I'm in the middle of studying for WSET 3, which has been an awesome challenge so far. But yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. I love wine. I'm passionate about fitness and nutrition. And what I'm drinking today, this was actually a friend just gave me this bottle today, so I had to open it. This is from Be Wise. It's called Wisdom. And
Mhm.
I looked up the blend on their website. It's a nice blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Zinfandel, Syrah, Cabernet Franc, and just a teeny bit of Petit Verdot. So this
Ooh.
is fantastic. I
Yeah.
already texted my friend, thank you so much, because this is actually really good.
That sounds like a monster, just lush,
Oh my
voluptuous,
gosh.
full of flavor, right?
It's so smooth and easy to drink. I can see why she's going to Napa soon for her birthday, and she was like, try a bottle for yourself. And this is one of the places we're going. And I was like, thank you so much. I can see why you like this place.
So what got you into, I know you talk a lot about the Central Coast. What got you into Paso? I think Paso still today is hands down the dark horse of California. Besides Temecula, and there's a few other regions in California, but I think Paso tends to get sidelined by Sonoma and Napa. But what really drives you about Paso?
Oh gosh. How long do we have to talk about it? No. I love Paso for so many reasons. I fell in love with the area because when I was in college, first of all, it was super convenient. It was easy. It was a 20-minute drive, and I'm lucky to have family in the area too. So I would sometimes go with friends, sometimes go with my aunts. And what led me back there each time was oh yeah, one of my friends, Katie's on. Yes, Wine Tasting with Katie and Megan. They're on right now. It's two of my besties. Um,
Awesome.
these are my wine or die girls, if you will. But anyways, I every single time I went to Paso, I loved how friendly everyone was. It was just everyone made you feel like family when you went into the tasting room. They made you feel
Right.
welcome. It was
Right.
always more of an intimate space. There's a ton of small production wineries in Paso, which I really like because
Right. Right.
a lot of the time you're actually talking to the winemaker or the husband or wife of the winemaker that's serving
Hmm.
you the wine. And so you're getting to learn so much and getting this intimate experience. It's not this like, okay, here's your pours. Let's get you in and out of here so we can get the next appointment in. So I really liked that intimate atmosphere with Paso every time I went, and it kept drawing me back to go try new places. And every time I'd go somewhere, someone would be like, oh, well, if you like my wine here, you're going to love so and so's wine over there. And it's again that family vibe where it's like everyone has each other's backs. And
Right.
just it's a really supportive community. I feel like
Yeah.
it is a true wine community up there where everyone knows everybody and it's in a good way. And
Right.
um, they're also making killer wines. I love the
Yeah.
wines up there. There's just something about them. I can't quite always put my finger on it, but that just bold, just I don't know. I feel like I can always pick out a Paso wine if you were to give it to me. I feel like I would be able to. They're just so
Yeah.
darn good.
Paso has this character about it. It's like I call them the boxers because they're so big and they're so round. It's like really like I call them punchy. You can tell a Paso bottle when you have it. Everything is round. You could definitely taste Paso. Um, But yeah, I definitely agree with you as far as the community. When I've traveled through there, and so many great wineries, and so many different great interpretations, especially because they're laying it down with French style, like Bordeaux's, Rhone style, blends that are just kicking. I mean, they really, and they have the climate for it. We also call it terroir. But yeah, that's the one thing I love about Paso. And you hit it right on the head as far as community, and how everybody has their back. Do you have another favorite region of California that you dig?
I've had a lot of fun exploring, actually, with my two friends that are on this call today, Santa Ynez area, which is just a little further south.
Mm-hmm.
I love both Santa Ynez area and Paso has such diverse climates between parts are close enough to the ocean where you get that ocean influence and it really cools everything nicely. And then
Mm-hmm.
you go a little more inland and you get that warmer climate. So there's such a wide array of grapes that are able to grow in both
Right.
of these areas, which I really like because they succeed in making some phenomenal wines. I was never a big Chardonnay and Pinot fan. And then I went to Santa Ynez with my friends, and oh my gosh, the Chardonnays and Pinots there.
Yeah.
I can now say I like those varietals because they showed me a way that they could be made. And I was like, oh man, this is bomb. I want to go back. And
Yeah,
Sonoma's another great area too. I feel like
right.
it's got a nice, same thing, kind of more of an intimate vibe with
Hmm.
some of the places we visited up there. It's, yeah, just great wines and great people. And I like that seems to be more what I gravitate towards is the places where it's a little more kind of one on
Intimate.
one. It's not like a big crowded area and it's just really great experiences and memories.
Yeah. Speaking of San Ynez, that was the first place. A buddy of mine took me up there, and we went to Firestone, and that was the first winery that I actually was a member for. And I lived in LA, and so at the time, and so I was driving up to pick up my wine. So I was like, hey, who else would want to, drive up with me? So I started taking my mom, and my mom would go talk about somebody that just really enjoyed. I mean, just that area, the vineyards itself, the tasting room. They had the little VIP tasting room where you'd go in, and they had all the nice cheeses and stuff, and they would give you the nicer flight and so forth. But yeah, when you talk like San Ynez, and then I actually, since it was part of that I guess it was part of that joinment of that winery, I would go to a secondary, like their sister winery, which is Lincourt in San Ynez. And if you haven't been to Lincourt, it's one of those places I say, bring your lunch. You can kick back, small little cottage tasting room. I have a little tasting area down in like down below, and it sits in the vines, and just absolutely just a beautiful area. And I hope once we get through all the COVID and stuff, we can get back to really enjoying it and laying it all out there, because that was such an amazing area to. When you talked about San Ynez, I was like, yep, San Ynez, that's a great area. And how about this Fit Wino, the Earn Your Wine? When I got connected with you, I was like, this is awesome. This is awesome. And the main thing is that I found you because my wife and I were looking for outlets. We have our kiddo and stuff, so we're like, what can we do when our kiddo is down? We could, follow somebody. We've done different workouts and stuff, but this was rad. So tell us about this whole fitness journey that you have.
Well, thank you so much, Corey. As you know, I'm passionate about fitness and wine. And early last year, I had actually planned to do an in-person Earn Your Wine event at the gym I work at because it's a really small boutique gym. So it's just me and the owner was nice. He's like, yeah, if you want to have an event here, go for it. So I had everything all lined up. I was about to announce it to set the date, and then COVID hit. And
Yeah.
obviously, in-person events were not going to be an option anymore. So I was really bummed. I was like, oh man, I really wanted to do this. And I was talking about it with my boyfriend and my friends, and they're like, why don't you do it on Instagram Live? Just do it in a virtual setting. And I'm like, okay, I've never done that before, but sure, why not? Let's just YOLO. It's COVID times, and it's just, what better time to try something new?
Right.
So I started doing workouts on, I started with IGTV, and then it built to doing live events. And it just kind of blossomed into this super fun thing that I started on my Saturday mornings, where I lead everyone through a 30-minute circuit that's completely different each week. We have different themes, between focusing on mobility and strength and core, to let's get your heart rate up, and we're going to do more of a high intensity interval style workout. And at the end of the 30 minutes, I then have a special guest on in the wine industry. So it could be a
Right.
winemaker, or someone that works in a tasting room, or I've had fellow wine bloggers on here. And it's been so much fun because we're earning our wine. So
Right.
most of the circuits, you should burn enough calories to earn yourself a glass of wine, whether you drink it with us post workout or you save it for later in the day. And yeah, I've met so many awesome people through that, because yeah, I love, just like you, getting to interview people and get to know them better and dive in
Right.
further into why they love wine. So
Now, has your as far as your screen time and viewership, has that really grown since the whole pandemic hit? Did you get a lot of viewers and a lot of people from far off places? You're like, I didn't know they were actually watching me.
yeah, it was kind of fun in the beginning because we were all in this new norm together, where we're stuck inside all the time. And it was super cool to see people from all across the country tuning in live. And whether they were doing the workout with me or not, I mean, I didn't know the difference, but the fact that they were there with me, it was just, again, it was a nice sense of community that this platform has developed for me, with people from Virginia, Chicago, Florida, all throughout California. It's really, really cool. And a lot of people, they might not be able to watch live with me, but they report back and they're like, oh my gosh, I tried your circuit later in the
Right.
day or the next day. And so it's good. I like that people are enjoying it. And even still, almost a year later, people are still liking it and enjoying the workout. So that's really
Well,
awesome.
it's a great way. Like I said, we do our family health walks. It's a great way to have almost have your cake and eat it too. But just keep mentally and physically healthy during this time. And have some enjoyment. You get the benefit of raising your heart rate and then drinking your glass of what you love. Your favorite poison, and that's what I dig about that. And for those of you who are just joining us, we have Nicole Ervin, Fit Wino. She does the Earn Your Wine on Saturdays. Such a great thing. And if you want to ask either Nicole or I questions, please do. Don't go ahead and leave it on the comment box. Leave it in that little bubble right next to you. It looks like there's little people with a little question mark. Go ahead and leave a question there. And such an amazing thing. As far as what inspired you to get into the whole fitness area, the fitness aspect of it.
So in college, I was studying nutrition for my degree, and I wanted to get a part-time job while being in college. And I got this great opportunity to work at a local gym and just do front desk, customer service like things. And I was like,
Right.
okay, this is kind of cool. I had a girl there that I liked taking her classes after my shift was done. And I'm like, this fitness thing is kind of fun. I'm liking this. So I worked there all throughout college, and towards the end of college, a bunch of girls I worked with were getting certified as personal trainers. And I was like, I'm kind of interested in this too, because as a
Right.
nutritionist, it's really common for you to become a registered dietitian and then go work in a hospital. And I
Right.
just didn't really want to go that exact route. And I liked that I could use my knowledge from my degree in nutrition and combine it with fitness. So after I graduated college, I became certified as a personal trainer and just kind of grew from there. I moved back home to Orange County and started at a bigger chain gym for a little while, about a year and a half. And then after that, it was just a perfect time for me to segue out, and I started my own business. And actually, next month will be, gosh, 7 years of me having my own business. So I'm
Awesome.
excited to celebrate
Awesome.
that
Bravo.
anniversary as well.
Awesome. Bravo. Bravo. Power. Power right there. I dig it. I love it. I love it. So how did it all come together? What was the moment where you just said, fitness, wine, fitness, wine. I got to put it all together. What was that moment? When was that moment?
I can't remember a distinct moment, but I just know I'd have certain people, like especially a couple clients, where it just the conversation naturally just
Mm.
somehow wine came up. I don't remember how it would come up. A lot of times it'd be people talking about their food logs actually, and they'd be like, "Oh, I had a glass of wine at dinner." I'd be like, "Oh, what did you have?" And then that just kind of got the conversation going. And so I found it was kind of fun. It was a good thing for some of my clients and I to talk about because I'm human. I mean, I drink my wine, hello, but
Absolutely.
it's all about
Absolutely.
the balance and the moderation, and that's what I try and work with my clients on is that I want you to be able to enjoy your treat, whether it be a cookie or a glass of wine or whatever it
Right.
is, and be able to treat yourself, but all within moderation. So
Right.
it just kind of became a fun thing for me to share with my clients. And then, like, when I would take time off and back before COVID and we would go to wine country more, I would share that with my clients, like, hey, I'm going out of town this weekend. And it just became this really, I'm very upfront and candid with everyone that I work with. And they know I love wine and they know I love going and
Right.
exploring those regions. So it just kind of all just flowed naturally because I'm really upfront and honest with them, and I want them to have a similar lifestyle of being able to go and have fun and enjoy. And we got to put in the work and earn it,
Yeah.
but it's all about the balance.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting when you were talking about that. It reminded me of some of the stories. I've been an active cyclist and participating in triathlons and things like that. But one of the things that really twisted my mind about the cycling world was back in the day, they used to not drink water. They didn't have all the quenchers and stuff that they have now, the exercise drinks and all this stuff. They were drinking wine at the bottom of the Alps and the Pyrenees before they would launch up to the top. And and these guys would have bikes that were tanks, and they would
Whoa.
change. You'd have to change your gears by basically getting off your bike and changing it. There was no such thing as regular shifters or electronic shifters that you had now. But you think of earning your wine. These guys earned their wine. They drank their wine at the bottom. They went all the way to the top. That was something that just amazes me about that thing. But it actually works. And if you do a little bit here, you can have your wine. You can enjoy it if you do it in moderation and you pay attention. And it's such a great thing. And that was one of the things that really uh, blew me away about your whole vision of what you do. Um, and have you gotten approached from like personally by anybody and saying, hey, you really like changed everything through this time or anything like that? Have you gotten any feedback?
I have actually, and that's been for me as a fitness coach, that's always the most rewarding thing for me to hear is that I've helped make someone's life better, whether it
Right.
be something as silly as, hey, I can now balance better and I can put my pants on without having to hold on to something. I mean, I've literally gotten these unexpected benefits that people have of being able to keep up with your kid on a hike, or being able to balance better, or they're finally able to fit into their favorite dress or pair of pants that they haven't been able to wear in months or years. And
Right.
this was just the jump start they needed, or just even the little victories of being able to advance in a certain exercise, like going from a knee plank to a toe plank. It's just any
Right.
and all of these victories. I love hearing from people, and when people take the time to message me or call me and tell me that stuff, it makes me really happy because I'm like, yay, we're making progress. And yeah, it's a really rewarding feeling.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, just like what you were saying as far as being able to keep up. Ever since I injured my back, it was the one thing that first came to my mind was, I have a 2-year-old. I gotta, I want to be able to still keep up with this kid. This kid is gonna outrun me and, in no time. And I've always been active. I've always been active since I was young. My dad had diabetes, and that was one of the things. That was one of the reasons why I actually became vegetarian and really stayed active throughout my like middle school and high school years into college and so forth. And then as I got older, I was like, well, what better way to stay fit is to keep active with something. And that's how I got more into competitive cycling and stuff like that. So what inspires you to keep going, especially through times like this? We've been dealing with ups and downs and inconsistencies here and there. What keeps you inspired? What keeps you motivated to get up every Saturday and just move these people?
A lot of it actually is the viewers. And I love the people that, whether they're able to tune in live or they tune in after the fact, I love that I get to start my Saturday and get a good workout in. My endorphins are pumping. I'm getting to talk to someone new in the wine industry and just get to share that time with them too and get to learn more and establish amazing connections with so many great people that I can't wait to meet in person on my upcoming wine trips. Um, there's actually a lot that gets me excited to do these now that I'm really thinking about it. I feel good both physically and just emotionally doing these. And again, hearing the feedback, whether it be the people that do it live and they drop comments below and they say, oh my gosh, that was so tough, but I feel so good. Or the people that message me later that, did it maybe after work one day or something. And they're like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much for this workout. So there's a lot of good positive things that come out of it, which makes me keep rolling out of bed on Saturday mornings, maybe a little
Yeah.
earlier than I normally would, but it's fun. So I like it. It's something that I want to grow and evolve this upcoming year. And as things start to open up, I see myself doing some in-person events, assuming stays going in the right direction. I'm really excited to do that and yeah, get people moving, keep their immune systems boosted, and then
Right.
earn a little extra antioxidant juice if you're drinking Red Bull.
Absolutely. Um, we were talking shop, we were talking wine and your favorite regions. And I know you were saying you were going for your wine set, your W set 3. Um, can you basically describe the intensity between 1, 2, and 3 to the viewer out there and what it really entails to actually go through this process and get your certifications?
So each level, I will say, is exponentially harder than the previous level. It's not like you're going in grade school where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's each level is quite a bit harder. Level one is perfect for people that are just wanting to kind of get their feet wet in wine education. They may or may not know a lot about wine, but it's a really great starting place to kind of start your journey into wine education. Level
Right.
two, I took last year, and it's definitely more knowledge. There's a lot of things that you have to memorize between grape varietals, what's to be expected of certain grape varietals in terms of flavor profiles and aromas, to memorizing different wine regions. So it was challenging. I had to study quite a bit. It was not a walk in the park and not something you could take lightly by any means. Level three is like just a whole nother notch up from level two. It is definitely something to be completely honest, feel like I am behind on my studying. There's just so much material with, they go even further into vineyard management and what to expect from grapevines and how different wineries choose to um, prune their grapevines and why they do these choices with their grapevines, to soil types, to even more wine regions and AVAs, and well, AVAs are in America, but more grape varietals, more regions. A lot of it is
Right.
memorization, but level 3 takes it to a whole nother level in that you actually have to understand the why behind the what. So why is it that a cooler climate grape is going to net X, Y, and Z on aromatics and flavor components versus a
Right.
warm climate of that maybe same varietal potentially? And why do these soil types benefit these vines versus maybe, so it's always, the test is completely different with level 3 in that it's multiple choice written and a blind tasting component, where with level 2 it was only multiple choice. So you really have to know your stuff for level 3, which is why for me, I'm like, I'm going to be studying all weekend. That's my plan. I'll be drinking and studying, because yeah, there's a lot to know, but I'm excited because I'm learning so much, and I feel like I'm understanding wine so much better than I ever have before. And I love talking about it if you haven't noticed. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it's great. But yeah, if you're considering, to summarize what I just said, start with level 1 if you're feeling like you're a novice in the wine realm. If you feel you have a pretty good understanding at wine, just start at level 2. That's actually what I did, and I did just fine. Just know you're going to have to study and put in the work. Don't try and cram all at the end. That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And then from there, if you get excited about what you're learning, jump to level 3. Not sure that I'm
Right.
going to do level 4, to be honest. That's like I think someone was telling me like a 3-year commitment. It's a big commitment where this course is 12 weeks. So not sure I'm going to do level 4, but
Now, do you do it all online right now? Is that how you do the course? Is that how it goes?
so level 2, I was able to do 100% virtual, except I went in to take the test. Where level 3, thankfully, I've been able to go in person. So the classroom is really spread out. Every person it's normally sits, I think he said, over 30 people, and there's only 12 allowed in the class right now.
Right.
So I'm really grateful we're able to go in person because Peter Neptune is my teacher, and he has 4 wines for us every class that we taste together. And because blind tasting is a component of this test, we
Yeah.
need to understand how to break apart a wine and what to look for. And I felt with doing this class in particular virtually, I wouldn't be getting as many wines to sample and taste with my teacher. I'm actually doing a virtual class with him again tonight. That's a additional thing I signed up for with him, where he's leading us through wines, and the better I can understand his palate and how he dissects the wines, hopefully the better off I'll do on the blind tasting portion for the test. So I'll be studying right after this today. So
So so just to let you know, we have just a little bit more time with Nicole because, like she said, she has to go do her virtual class. But one of the things I was going to say too is, and if you have any questions, please go ahead and throw it in that box, that little bubble. If you're curious about something with the W set or anything about the areas that we talked about, the wine regions as far as Paso and San Ynez, go ahead and throw it in the little bubble. Um, what what were your go-to resources that you're using right now that you found? Yeah, I'm like a person that's hands-on, and I have to look at everything. It's hard for me to sit and just read. So what was the best, or what are you using for your resources right now for the study?
I'm a huge visual learner. So for me, highlighting in my book has been huge. And that's actually one of the things that I'm going to do this weekend, which helped me a lot with level 2, is doing map tracings. So I got tracing paper. I have a bunch of colored pencils and markers. So I'm going to start doing map tracings to just better, hopefully, cement into my brain the different regions with all the different villages and everything that I need to know. So
Right.
for me personally, that helps a lot. And for level 2, I wrote out what I called my cheat sheet. So for each chapter, I wrote out the key takeaways that I wanted to make sure I remembered from each chapter. So I want to start writing that out as well. Some other resources that I've been introduced to are some audio resources, or videos, but I'm planning to listen to them in my car as I drive around in between clients for work, is
Right.
I believe it's Jimmy's Wine World or Jimmy and Wine, or no, Wine with Jimmy. That's what it is. Wine with Jimmy. And he does a really great job of explaining each thing from each chapter and breaking it down in a very approachable way. So I'm actually planning, one of my friends was like, why aren't you doing that in the car when you drive? I'm like, duh, that's a great idea. So I'm planning to start that. I'm going to goof around with it and see if I'm able to get it playing through my car so that when I'm, 15, 20, 30 minutes here and there, that's extra studying I could be doing when I'm not able to have the book in front of me.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, talk about visually. I actually found, can't even think of his name. I am really horrible with names. That was one of the good things. Like, at least when I worked with somebody, if they had a name badge, I would, oh, just look at their name badge. But I did a lot of studying through like YouTube. I found a lot of visual. There was this one guy that had this. I can't even, like I said, I can't think of his name, but he had this 30-minute show, and he went in through everything as far as regions, whether it was Burgundy or Bordeaux or talking about Barolo and so forth. And it was just, I was like, huh, okay, I understand it now. I mean, that is the tough thing for me, is looking at everything. But when you were talking about map tracing, um, that is one of the things that I love doing, is kind of looking at maps and being able to trace. And it's fun for my kid too, even though I'll make a map and then he'll scribble it all out. It disappears. But yeah, that is totally helpful as far as doing all those resources. And where do you want to go as far as, when you take your three, what do you want to go and do with that?
So right now I'm having fun doing I'm calling my family my guinea pigs, and I'm doing fun little virtual tastings with them and teaching them about wine. So maybe get into doing virtual tastings with people. I personally would love to eventually move up to wine country and get more involved in the wine industry somewhere up in wine country. This is still a little bit of a kind of a dream, if you will, but I'm working to hopefully expand more in the wine industry at some point in the near future and just kind of see where it takes me. I'm open to growing in multiple facets within wine, whether it be working in a tasting room or working behind the scenes. Um, I'm just kind of enjoying this ride right now and just kind of going where it feels right. And given that I don't have any formal experience, I feel like this education will be really helpful for me so that I can hopefully land something at some point and maybe keep doing Earn Your Wine up at wineries. That would be the dream goal right
Right.
there. That would be a ton of fun.
Yeah. I mean, the way that the industry is going right now, there's so many great things that are happening, and there's so many needful things that need to happen. I think as we went into lockdown, I think everybody started to brainstorm. And as we are celebrating, Women's History Month, where would you like to see, like, women go as far as industry, whether it's winemaking, distilling, or brew making? Where would you like to see women land? I just keep on hearing a lot that when I jump into conversations, this needs to be done. So where would you like on your end to see women go?
I would love to see women winemakers more featured more in the forefront of making some killer wines. And I feel
Right.
like they sometimes get shadowed by the male winemakers that have been in the industry for decades. And there's great history with those winemakers. And don't get me wrong, I know some amazing male winemakers and I love their
Right.
wines and I love what they're all about. But I feel like the females sometimes don't get the notoriety that they deserve. And I actually just gifted a friend of mine a bottle of Desperada, which is made by Velia in Paso. And oh my gosh, her wines are a shout out to Velia right now. I don't if she hopefully she watches this at some point because her wines are so good. They're so smooth. They're so well integrated. and she makes them unfiltered. So her Sauv Blanc, for example, has a little haze to it, which for some people are like, why
Right.
is this hazy? But it's so good, and it adds this extra body to the wines that you're just not expecting, and it's delicious. I want to make sure too, I saw there was a question from, it looks like Jeannie,
Yes, sir.
with how
Okay.
much wine is too much wine? Um, well, that's a great question. Um, I'm not going to give you a super specific answer because everyone's health is different. So whether you have a pre-existing health condition like maybe diabetes, or depending on how your liver is functioning, but it's safe to assume if you're going to keep your consumption of alcohol to, at least in regards to wine, a 5 ounce pour is a standard pour of wine. So make sure you're not filling your wine glass up to like the top.
Top.
um,
Right.
you can measure it out. And I believe the general rule is a serving of wine, I believe 3 or 5 days a week. I'll be honest, I usually do a glass of wine a night. I drink wine pretty much every evening. It's my way to kind of wind down from the day. I start early in the day. So this is, aside from me studying, this is also my way to just kind of decompress. So there are other kind of little variables with this depending on your own personal health. So as a general rule, that's what I would recommend. You also get the resveratrol benefits with red wine, by the way, so that's always good. Little antioxidant help.
Yeah.
And then for wines that are better for you for when you work out, um, I like to try and stick with wines that I know don't have a ton of additives to them. So wines that are made in a more natural way, or made biodynamically or organically, um, or just simply wineries I know have good practices with them, because there are sadly wineries out there that add stuff in their wines to make it smell a certain way or taste or look a certain way. And those additives can cause people to have bad hangovers and bad headaches. And people don't understand why. Like, oh my gosh, I only had 2 glasses of wine last night and I drank water. Why am I waking up the next morning feeling like garbage? And it's because of these additives. So to answer your question, those are the wines I like to pick, are the ones that I know are fairly clean and
Mm.
don't have things in them. And if you're not sure, most wineries, they won't always say all their practices on their website, but the ones that are taking the time to go through and make sure things are organic or biodynamic, they're going to be promoting it on their website, because it's definitely a labor of love, and for some of these people it's also an extra expense, but they care about their craft and what they're doing. So it's worth it to kind of research on websites. And there are certain websites out there like veganwines.com. They have all vegan wines. So certain additives can contain animal products. And that's why vegan wines is not just a marketing thing, it's an actual thing. So I realize this is kind of a long drawn out answer,
Oh no,
but
it's good. It's great.
I've noticed certain wineries, which I'm not going to name names, but certain wineries I've had in the past, every single time I had their wine, even if it was just one glass, I would not feel good later that day and the next day. So pay attention to what you're drinking, because you might be drinking stuff that's giving you an unnecessary hangover.
Or you're drinking too much, which you don't want to do.
No, never. That's never the case.
Yeah. I love that you brought up the whole thing with the labels and the vegan wines and the natural wines. And that's an interesting market right now. Me being so saturated in the retail aspect, and seeing that whole market explode from the clean wines to the vegan wines, the biodynamic wines, and that was a great explanation. I loved your explanation on that. And as we're winding down, the one of the questions, like I said, I want to really celebrate. I think for me, it's my goal is to really celebrate the women of this industry, not just this month, not just for one day, but for every day. And I can't say it enough. What would you say to all the women that are just that are thinking about their journey or just starting their journey, what would you say? What is the best advice that you can give them to keep on going, to keep on rocking it?
For those who are thinking about getting started, I would say rip that Band-Aid off and just go for it. One thing I feel like COVID's taught all of us is things can change in a moment's notice. And why not go explore something that might become a new hobby or even a new career for you? So just go explore. There's no harm in exploring and reading and learning. And whether you listen to some of those YouTube videos I was talking about with Wine with Jimmy, and just to see, like, is this something I'm interested in? You don't have to invest a ton of money into doing a wine course if you're not sure, but just start reading and see where it takes you. And for those who are in the process of learning more about wine, do what makes you excited. Do what makes you happy. And if this is something that makes you happy and brings you joy, go for it. And that's why I'm continuing to do everything I'm doing in the wine realm, between Earn Your Wine, studying WSET. These things bring me joy and they make me happy. So I'm going to keep doing them because, again, with COVID, there was a lot of moments where things were kind of sad and kind of scary, and we needed to gravitate to outlets that were bringing us happiness and joy. And for me, wine was one of them. So I just threw myself in and I just ripped that Band-Aid off. When I saw WSET 2 was being offered near me virtually, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to wait a while before I do level 3. And then I got the opportunity to do level 3 with a fellow Instagram friend. And I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. I'm going to do it. So don't put it off. Just go for it.
Awesome. Awesome. Love it. Love it. And where can they find you, Nicole? Where can they find you? Are you just on Instagram? Are you on YouTube? Where could we find you at?
So I'm the most active on my Instagram page, which is at FitWino. If you guys happen to have Facebook, I do have a Facebook page as well, but it's all the same content you're going to see on Instagram. So Instagram's the best place to find me. And if you guys ever want to join me for a workout, I would love to have you Saturday mornings at 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. I will lead you through a 30-minute workout. And please know, I accommodate all fitness levels with my workouts. So I'm not just going to give you a one option and you got to do it. I will always give you variations to keep you safe, as well as to make sure, if you're a novice worker-outer, no problem. Or if you're advanced, I got options for you too. So I would love to have you guys join me for a workout. And then this week I'm featuring actually a fellow Instagram friend who just finished her WSET 3 test and works at a local wine shop in Mission Viejo. So she's going to be joining me, and we're going to be talking about a bottle of Pinot Noir tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. Very cool. Yeah, if you can't watch live, that's okay. They're saved to my IGTV on my page, and I always love hearing feedback from people. So send me a DM or drop a comment and let me know what you thought of the workout and the guest speaker. I always love hearing that.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for taking the time to sit down and break bread with me. Your story is inspiring. I love the words that you spoke. It's just a great testament to the talented women that are out there. The ones that we really kind of, it's unfortunate we tend to gloss over. And I'm just so pleased and thank that I got to sit down with you, and thank you so much for your time. I know you have to go and run and get ready for your class, but we got to do it again. And maybe next time we'll do a little class, a little workout, and that'll be.
Yeah. Well, Corey, I want to thank you. And you must be thirsty. You got to have a sip of your wine, man. We got to cheers, and you got to try some of that passive goodness.
Look at my port.
I know, you got to enjoy your wine, but thank you so much for outreaching to me and inviting me on. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and I really appreciate your time and all of your thoughtful questions, and hope to maybe see you tomorrow morning for the workout.
Hopefully if my kid doesn't drag me somewhere else, but I'll be there. Hopefully.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Corey. We'll talk soon. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. Bye.
See you later.
You know, okay. Click. See if I can find the button. All right. All right. All the viewers out there, thank you so much for spending time with us, sharing your time. I always appreciate your time with Breaking Bread with Corey. If you have a question or if there's something that you want to see, don't forget it. If you follow me, if you don't, go ahead and follow me here on Instagram. We are dedicating this whole month, again, to the women of this industry, the ones that haven't been heard of and that should be heard of. And make sure when you go, if you're out there going to your local liquor store or supermarket, ask your wine steward, ask the wine guy, hey, do you have any women owned wineries? Do you have any women owned breweries or distilleries? Because this is what is going to push it to the next level. We need to do your part. And again, I can't stress it enough. If you're a SOM wine specialist out there, we got to really embrace this community. It's our voices. We're in the front lines. It's our voices that really need to make this happen. So let's do it. Let's support each other. Let's support them. And let's celebrate them. Let's keep it going this month. And we have a whole great lineup coming up this week. Follow me on Instagram and you'll see the talented ladies. I have an amazing lineup of beautiful, talented women that are going to be sharing the screen with me and breaking bread with me. So once again, thank you for your time. Thank you for spending, your time with us, and hopefully you got a lot of great information. And until next time, remember, mask up, stay distant, keep safe, stay healthy, and cheers.